This goes out to the professional comic book writers and the artists and whoever else decides to get on social media and dictate to paying customers the terms. Now, what these people do is, well, most of them that are doing this are socialists, Marxists, communists, and they are completely un-American. First of all, America is a nation of people who are capitalist. We believe in free speech. We believe in certain unalienable rights, and communism and Marxism goes against all of that. We work hard for what we get, and we don't believe in being forced to give to people who do not work to get. Now, beyond that, anyone who wants to work in a business like the comic book industry, not a community, it's an industry, it's a business. Just like fast food is not a community, it's a business, it's an industry. You work for the customers. You work for the people who actually give money to keep that business going. You don't work for Marvel in the long run. In the long run, you work for the people who actually buy the books. Now, was it Quinn Zones or Quinn Ones? I can't remember his name. Joey Quinn Wones. I don't know. Whatever. He got online. He got on Twitter and decided that he was going to dictate the terms to customers, or to what he called the toxic fan base. And he decides to tell people that basically, if you don't like what, no, he decides to say that these are how you, this is how you have to behave. He produces a list and saying this is what fans should do and what fans should consider acceptable behavior. And part of that list is basically taking whatever they put out and shutting up about it, not having an opinion, not having a say in what's actually produced. Now, that's all fine and dandy if what you're producing is your own personal character, or your own what do you call it, your original character, your original story. That's all fine and dandy. Like with my character that you see on the screen right now, Victoria Sampson, I'm not going to let anybody tell me what kind of story I should write. I'm going to write the story that I want to write, and I'm going to put forth the ideas that I want to write. And if you don't like that story, well, then you can keep on moving. But as a professional comic book artist and writer, you're dealing with characters that are not yours, that don't belong to you. They've already been established. They've had long-running fan bases that have been around before you came along. It will probably be along after you leave. So you have a responsibility to the characters. Quinn Zones, whatever his name was talking about artistic integrity. What about the integrity of treating the property that you have with the respect that is due, and not making it into your own personal vehicle for your politics or for your personal beliefs? You can't hijack a character that doesn't belong to you and then demand that people just accept what you put out and not complain about it, or else you're going to threaten them with derogative names, or with blackballing, and with what else do you do? You outright lie about people, and then you stalk and you dox and all these other things, all these other forms of harassment and illegal activities. It's terror, basically. You're trying to control a fan base with terror. You're terrorists. So you have a responsibility to these characters that already exist and have been around for the longest time and have established canons. You can't just do anything you want with those characters like She-Hulk, like Captain America. You can't just do anything you want and demand that people enjoy it. All right? Now, what people are going to do is that they are going to complain. And if you refuse to hear their complaints, and if you refuse to... All right, as I was saying before I got interrupted by a call, uh, people have responsibility to those characters that have already been established. And it's shocking to me that Marvel doesn't seem, the company doesn't seem to agree with that. And that just shows just how deep the sickness runs. Now here I am before anybody tries to call me a racist, because that's what you like to do. You like to lie and say that anybody who disagrees or complains is a racist bigot or anything. They'll let you know right now that I'm a black man, so you're talking to a black man. Or you're hearing from a black man telling you that he doesn't want what you've done with Iron Man. He doesn't want what you've done with Thor by emasculating him in order to put a female in his place. There was a better way to go about that story. Now, I voted with my dollars, and I decided to keep my dollars in my pocket. Now, you can't go off on the social media and claim that the only people who are rejecting your ideas are racist or misogynist or whatever else. But you're going to do that anyway, because that's what you do. You lie, and you spin stories that are false, and there's nothing more immoral than that, but you somehow pretend that you have the moral ground, and then you dare to speak for minorities, or what you would like to call minorities, as if we are children. You call us weak, you call us vulnerable, like we're less than you are, like we're somehow like on a pedestal beneath you, and that we need you to protect us. No, don't do that. That's actually insulting. And it's insulting that I can complain and I can make my voice heard and you won't listen, or that you just flat out ignore me and continue to spin lies about what's going on. So that goes out to all these professional, so-called professional comic book artists, writers, whatever else out there who are mistreating established characters and treating them like they own the characters when the characters belong to the public. And if you don't believe they belong to the public, well then you just sit tight and watch your business crash, which you don't really care anyway. You don't care, and that's the saddest part about it. You don't care if those characters like Captain America and Iron Man fade away, because they never had any meaning to you in the first place, or else you would have respected them, you would have taken care of them, and you would have had the integrity to keep those characters intact and to treat them with respect, rather than treat them as a vehicle for your politics. So yeah, you don't care, and that's the saddest part. So that's it.